Hello, Misfits. This is Kevin.
And this is Kate.
Welcome to Horrorwood.
Da-na-na.
I don't know.
I was doing like a spooky and you were doing like a
thriller.
like a cartoon.
It's
like
a cartoon thriller.
What's up?
What up? How's it going?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm real tired.
It's hot out today.
It's really hot, which is fine. But it's like just like sucks my energy when I go out for a walk and I'm just soaking in sweat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ugh.
Hate it. I need to put my air conditioner in my window this evening. It's time.
Yeah, it is.
It's time.
It's going to be 80s like for the next couple of days.
I know. Ugh, I hate it.
The weather has arrived.
It has.
The sun has come out.
Which I know a lot of people are excited about, but I am not a fan of hot weather.
I'm okay with it getting a little warmer because like I like to go on walks and I don't want to freeze. But yeah, 80s that gets rough.
It does.
Especially when it's been raining and it's humidity.
Ooh,
Blah.
I hate that sticky heat.
Ugh.
Gross.
Oh, you know what's not gross?
What?
We have a new Patronian.
Yay!
They did cancel the very next day. But they signed up for a year.
Wow.
Bruce, thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Glad to have you, or glad we had you for a day.
Whichever it is.
Or for the year. We don't know.
We don't know.
But what's up?
What
Thank
up,
you so
Bruce?
much. You just got back from New York.
I did go to New York.
How was that trip?
It was lovely. I had a great time.
Yay.
I flew into LaGuardia and I stayed at a little kind of inn hotel.
Cute.
Tiny rooms, like
Okay.
half the size of this room.
Oh, not as cute.
It was fun, but it was cute though. Like
Okay.
it had everything I needed: a
Yeah.
bathroom, a shower, a bed. Easy, and it was cheap.
Great.
It was in East Harlem, which was really easy to get to from the airport. And so, yeah, I just went to see shows.
Awesome. What was your favorite show you saw?
Okay, I'm gonna rank them for you.
Okay.
I saw 5.
Can you just tell me what your favorite one was?
Okay.
No, he got so mad when I said that. The look on Kevin's face just now was like, you don't want me to say all 5 shows?
I want to say all 5
Go
shows.
ahead. Rank them all for me.
Cut them later if you don't like it.
No, I'll leave it all in.
Number 1, Rocky Horror.
Oh, great.
Loved it.
You're going favorite to least favorite.
Yes.
Okay. Rocky Horror favorite.
Favorite. Number
Boom.
2, Chess.
Okay.
Loved it. Leah Michelle called out at the last minute. So didn't see her.
Okay.
Saw the understudy. Don't care. Still love an understudy.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Number 3, Titanic.
Okay.
Loved Titanic. Hilarious. Hysterical. Number 4, this isn't technically on Broadway, but I saw the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Love.
Hysterical. Amazing. And then I went to see the Lost Boys musical.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay.
None of them were bad.
Oh, great.
None were bad. So I had a great time seeing those shows. And then I spent the second half of my trip up in Wappingers Falls, Beacon area, seeing my friend Chelsea. In
What up,
something,
Chelsea?
Hey, Chelsea. Seeing her in Something Rotten at the
Nice.
local community theater.
Fun.
So yeah, I had a great time.
Awesome. It was probably nice just to like get away.
It was. Yeah. I don't like being back. I hate it.
Oh, no.
So whatever.
Oh, that was
I mean, it's fine.
an abrupt end to that
Yeah.
tale.
Yeah.
Oh, we finished Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix.
Tell me about it. What's going on? Okay, go
Is
ahead.
it tightened enough?
Let me tighten it. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So good. You will really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a satisfying ending. I mean, it is disturbing. I needed like at least a day between the first and second episode. And then after we got through those, boom, sailing through. We were like, should we do another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So good. The acting is excellent in it. And It's weird and kind of disturbing and fun and satisfying at the end. And yeah, it was great. And so now we just started Widow's Bay. Love.
Okay.
Matthew Rhys. I thought it was going to be like another The Beast in Me, which did you watch that?
No.
So good. But it's not. It's way more weird and fun and delightful. It's really funny. It's like a dark comedy, I guess you would classify it as. It's really fun.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. And those are the things that I know.
I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. I don't think so.
Okay. I guess we just have to start talking about this case.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Oh, you sound very happy, but...
I'm not happy. This sucks and it's terrible and I hate it.
Okay.
I'm just masking it.
I see.
With fake happiness.
Woo!
Just keep faking it. All right. So today we are talking about Gagandip Singh.
Okay.
And he was a young Sikh TV entrepreneur who lived in London.
Oh.
Had just everything going for him. Great
Nice.
life.
Love.
But behind the scenes,
Ooh.
there was a complicated friendship, hidden tensions, and betrayal
Ooh.
that were building toward a horrifying night that would leave an entire family shattered and spark one of Britain's most talked about murder cases.
Oh, wow. And I don't think I've ever heard of this.
I hadn't either, which is crazy. I want to talk about Gagandip for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I want to go through his life, give you a picture of who he was.
Great.
And then we'll get into the horror of it all because it's bad.
Okay.
All right. So Gagandip Singh grew up in a close Sikh family in Bexley Heath, which is in London, kind of like the South Side.
Okay.
So people around him already saw him as somebody who's going to go someplace fast. He's
Okay.
I think he had that sort of swagger and
All
just
right.
that kind of
He had
like,
that riz.
He had the riz.
He had that go-getter. He had that ambition. He
Yeah.
had that drive.
Yeah. He was like, I'm going to get into it and fast.
Okay.
And he did.
Great.
He was raised by his parents.
I would assume.
I was going to say their names afterwards, and then I put a comma.
He was raised by his parents?
Yeah.
Wild.
He was raised by his parents, Charanjit Singh and Tejinder Singh,
Okay.
alongside his younger sister, Gagandip Singh. So the family was very connected to their Sikh faith and community, and religion was a huge part of everyday life for them. And Gagandip became known as somebody who took that very seriously from a very young age.
Okay.
So he's like in his religion, he's very like, this is how it has to be.
Okay.
He attended Sikh temples regularly. He became active in Sikh youth groups and later became involved in projects aimed at connecting younger British Sikhs with their culture and religion. I'm not going to give you a whole rundown, but just in case you don't know, Sikhism is a religion that began in the Punjab region of India.
Okay.
So it's an Indian religion. It's like the 5th most prominent religion in the world, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I remember looking that up. But I'm not going to go into all what Sikh is. So his family had already built a pretty comfortable life before he became successful on his own. His father, Charanjit, had created a profitable business and was described as a hardworking man who had built up an employment and packaging company through years of work.
Okay.
The family was considered financially successful. They were doing pretty well for themselves.
Nice.
But people close to them also described them as traditional and community focused. The sister, Gagandip, later spoke about how protective her older brother became over both her and their mother as he got older. There was pressure on Gagandip to live up to expectations and to continue building on what his father had started.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a little bit of a schism here with like he wants to do his own thing, and then also he's kind of expected
to like follow in the family business,
right? Especially being like a man in the family.
I see. And he was the oldest, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
100% the oldest.
100% the oldest. So while a lot of people his age were still deciding what they wanted to do with their lives, Gagandip was already building businesses and making connections in the British Sikh community. He had a talent for networking and media.
Okay.
Friends described him as ambitious and full of ideas. He became especially interested in broadcasting and youth outreach. Eventually, he launched Sikh TV.
Wow.
Which was a satellite television station focused on Sikh culture, religion, and current issues affecting the community in Britain.
Okay.
Awesome. Very cool. Starting a television station in your early 20s is already unusual, but what stood out even more was how quickly he became recognized for it. By 21 years old, reports described him as a millionaire television entrepreneur.
Whoa.
Right? 21.
Wow. He does have that riz.
He's got it. He's like, TV station, boom, money.
100%.
100%. So he's running this TV station, but he's also actually helping to run parts of his family's business.
Oh, wow.
And then even after that, he would become the founder of the British Sikh Student Federation, which is an organization aimed at bringing Sikh students and young people together across the UK.
Okay. So super into the religion.
Totally.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. He was active in conferences, Sikh youth events, online discussions. A lot of younger Sikhs saw him as somebody modern who still respected tradition.
Okay.
He was baptized as a Sikh and took pride in that identity. People who met him during those years often remember how intense he could be about his goals. He worked constantly and seemed eager to prove himself. But behind that success, there were also signs that he carried a lot emotionally. In September 2009, when Gagandip was still very young, his father, Charanjit, traveled to India for business and was shot and killed after confronting a business associate accused of stealing from him.
Oh, that's awful.
It was a contract hit.
Oh.
There's a really good documentary, like a 45-minute TV show documentary on YouTube, which I'll link. The sister Amandeep was talking about, like, this wasn't something necessarily that was new. Like, they'd received death threats before, being in this business.
Explain the business to me again.
It's packaging. It's a packaging business.
Packaging what?
I don't know.
Or is it like selling packaging?
I didn't go that deep.
Oh, okay.
So it's a packaging company.
Packaging, got it.
Whatever that means, you go for it.
And how old did you say Gagandip was when his dad was killed?
It was 2009. So he would have been, it was a couple years before, he would have been 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's suddenly the man of the house.
Exactly.
Expected to carry on that business, but also like is doing his own thing.
Yes, 100%. And this is where things for him go really bad. Like it gets really bad here. The murder devastated the family.
Sure.
According to Amandip, her brother suddenly felt responsible for becoming the man of the house, just like you said. And he had to grow up so quickly.
Yeah.
Friends later said the loss changed him, as a person. And he became quieter and leaned heavily on the people close to him for emotional support.
Also, like 19 is really young to lose a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess you're an adult, but you're a teenager.
Not really. You're still a teenager.
Yeah. That's awful.
I know. I can't imagine. But even with that grief hanging over him, he kept working. He continued pushing Sikh TV forward and stayed active in Sikh causes. His mother later said she still could not believe how much he had managed to accomplish by age 21. Now, let's bring in the next character in our story. Friend of Gagandip, Mundil Mahill.
Okay.
Gagandip and Mundil first crossed paths in 2009 through mutual Sikh community connections.
Okay. And that was the same year his dad died, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll say now, he's just kind of trying to reach out to people to feel better about what happened to his father. So Mundil Mahill grew up in a traditional Sikh family in Chatham in London and was considered a standout student. She's very smart too.
Oh, this is a female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Female. I'm sorry. Yes. She was the youngest child in her family. Her parents ran a bed and breakfast business, and achievement was something that was expected of her.
Is that like a common thing in the Sikh community? Did you say that she was Sikh also?
Yeah, she's also Sikh.
Is that a common thing of like success?
Yes.
And I see.
Well, and this is what was interesting about these people, because these are like traditional Sikh families who are adhering to those traditional values of like, you need to grow up, you need to be successful, you need to make money, and you need to carry on this legacy of our family.
Oh, it's a lot of
pressure.
pressure.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So here's just a breakdown of like what her family members did.
Okay.
One sibling became a doctor. Another studied medicine before moving into IT.
Okay.
And another became a police officer.
Well, all right. So she's got a lot to live up to.
Yes.
All right.
Mundil followed a similar path academically and was often described by teachers and friends as somebody who seemed focused on helping people.
Okay.
She attended Rochester Grammar School in Kent, where she excelled academically. She earned 10 A grades at GCSE and later received 3 A's at A level.
So I'm assuming
she
that's
was fabulous.
great.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like the top notch.
Gotcha.
She was like A, summa cum. I don't think they call it that, but like summa cum laude.
Okay.
I was gonna say high GPA, and I almost said Chat GPT.
That's where our world is now.
Outside the classroom, she mentored an autistic child and volunteered at a hospice. People around her believed she was heading toward major medical, like a big medical career.
Yeah.
And eventually she earned a place at Brighton and Sussex Medical School in Brighton,
Okay.
where she began studying medicine while she was still a teenager.
Oh, wow.
So religion is also a big part of her life. Mundil described herself as a devout Sikh during her teen years. She attended Sikh conferences, meditation retreats, martial arts clubs, and youth camps that were connected to the religion. And at 17, she even began wearing a turban and considered becoming baptized as a Sikh.
Okay.
But I think only the men wear turbans. Anyway, she later explained that she grew up in a sheltered environment where contact with boys was limited and relationships before marriage were no.
Big no. I could see that being a big thumbs down.
Awful.
From what I've heard so far.
Well, and that's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's sinful.
It's awful. So like sex before marriage is not acceptable in this community. And she said she had never willingly kissed anyone when she was younger. Willingly.
Oh.
So at the same time, she often felt caught between, I'll get back to it.
Okay. You just kind of left me hanging there.
I did. At the same time, she often felt caught between two worlds. At school, many of her classmates had boyfriends and more freedom socially. Mundil later admitted she sometimes lied to her mother about situations where boys might be present.
Well, also, she's a teenager, and so
Yeah.
she's just doing normal teenage things.
100%. Even
100%.
102%.
Oh, switching it up.
But she felt the pressure to live up to her parents' expectations and also try to sort of have a normal teenage girl life at school. One place where she found a different kind of social circle was through the Sikh martial arts and youth groups.
Oh, okay.
And that was where she met her friend, Harinder Shoker, who went by the nickname Ravi.
Okay.
The two became friends, even though by her own description, they seemed completely opposite. She came from a structured academic background. He's more streetwise and rebellious.
Okay.
Bad boy.
Yeah. And girls like a bad boy when they're in their teens.
I wouldn't know.
Did you like bad boys?
I don't know what I liked.
Okay.
I think I was just focused on let's get this over with.
Surviving.
Yeah. Did you have a bad boyfriend?
Yeah,
I
did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, Kate. Amazing. I would have loved
had a
to
couple
have,
of them.
Oh, shit. We're going to talk about this later.
Sure.
Anyway, she admit that having sort of this bad boyfriend and Ravi was exciting at the time.
And they weren't
dating.
together.
Okay. No, but they were friends.
Yeah.
And she described herself as naive, and she thought having friends who felt more dangerous or unpredictable seemed interesting when she was younger.
Of course.
So friends and teachers often described Mundil as unusually trusting, and one former teacher described her as somebody who assumed others shared her values and kindness. One of her housemates I don't say later in life, but one of her housemates later called her an agony aunt because she spent hours listening to other people's problems and trying to help them. A UNT.
Oh, okay.
Like an auntie, sort of. Who would
I
sit down and listen to your problems.
Yeah. I was thinking of a little insect. I'm an agony ant.
Agony ant. She was crawling up the mountain of success. The anthill, if you will.
I will.
Okay.
I absolutely will. 100%.
Oh, I need new catchphrases. So Mundil's connection to Gagandip Singh started online.
Okay.
In August 2009, Gagandip sent her a Facebook friend request. Mundil normally did not accept requests from men that she did not know,
Sure.
especially because of the strict expectations she grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
But she noticed that they had a mutual friend, Ravi,
Okay.
who told her Gagandip was trustworthy, religious, and involved in Sikh youth causes.
Okay.
So after hearing that, she accepted the request, and soon after they met in person for the first time.
Okay.
At first, the friendship seemed natural. Mundil said she found Gagandip intelligent, ambitious, and passionate about helping Sikh youth.
Yeah, sounds like it.
He came across as modern while still being connected to his faith, which is kind of a ongoing thing with him. But after Gagandip's father was killed, Mundil found herself as a kind of confidant and a close friend. I think he was leaning on her for major support after this. I'll also say I think he liked her.
Okay.
I'm positive he was kind of falling for her.
Gotcha. They
meet, and shortly thereafter, his father dies, and then he's like just confiding in her and trying to find. And I think it was also coming from a place of like, I really am into this person.
And he sounds like he just trusted her.
He trusted her like immediately. They have the same things in common. They're from the same kind of families. So over the next year, they spent hours talking on the phone and messaging online, often late into the night. Mundil later described herself as more of an emotional support system or a counselor to Gagandip. She said Gagandip was grieving and struggling under pressure, but as time went on, it became clear that the friendship meant something different to him than it did to her.
Oh, okay.
Gagandip developed strong romantic feelings. According to interviews, he told her he loved her and wanted a relationship.
Okay.
He bought her gifts, showed up unexpectedly to see her, and continued trying to stay close to her emotionally. Mundil said she only wanted friendship.
That's hard.
Right. She's from the traditional background where relationships with men are restricted. And she later explained she felt trapped between wanting to help him, but not wanting to have that helping him encourage him. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Romantically. So as Gagandip became more emotionally attached, the relationship also became super complicated.
Sure.
Mundil claims he would sometimes threaten self-harm if she distanced herself.
Oh, no.
She said there were moments when he arrived unannounced at her student house in Brighton and told her things like he would kill himself if she stopped seeing him.
Oh, God.
She described this as emotional pressure, though she also said she still cared about him as a friend and was worried about his mental state.
Well, yeah.
In August 2010, things changed completely. Mundil was staying alone at her Brighton student house while preparing for an exam.
Okay.
She was preparing to resit an exam that she had previously failed. Resit meaning like
retake
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. According to her later account, Gagandip arrived unexpectedly with flowers and asked to stay over because he had a problem with his car.
Oh, dear.
She reluctantly agreed and told him to sleep downstairs. That night, she claimed he made unwanted sexual advances toward her.
Oh, no.
And pinned her down on her bed. She said she eventually pushed him off. Fortunately, it didn't get to like a, how do I say this? A rape didn't occur. Like he was trying to, and she fought him off.
Oh, wow.
And then she got him off of her, and then he gets really emotional and apologizes, and then leaves.
Oh, this is so scary.
Right?
Because if he's willing to do that once, it can happen again.
This case is still talked about widely
in
the UK. And I looked at, it wasn't Reddit, but it was some other kind of message board place where people were talking about this case. And I couldn't find like a very reputable source. But from what I was reading, it sounds like there's either rumors or knowledge out there that this might not have been the first time that something like this had happened with him.
Oh, wow.
I allegedly, whatever, because I don't know what's true. I'm not going to like forcefully say that he was engaged in this behavior before. I don't know. But from what I read, there's stuff out there that says that maybe
Gotcha.
he was.
Well, it's terrifying.
So what makes this part of the story especially complicated is that Gagandip himself later admitted to someone close to him that he had crossed a line. He had sent a message, like a text message, to a mentor figure that was older in his community whose name was Sunny. Sunny will come up again later.
Okay.
But he had said to Sunny in his text message that he had tried to rape his best friend and that he did not know what to do. So after the incident, their relationship collapses.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Right? And Mundil said she felt betrayed and traumatized.
Sure.
She did not report the incident to police because she feared how her family and the Sikh community would react.
Oh.
She believed people would blame her for allowing him to stay overnight.
Which they probably would have.
That's the thing. Like, as awful as that is.
But just everything that you've told me about this community, it doesn't seem like she would have been protected.
It doesn't sound like that, no. At the same time, Gagandip reportedly became desperate to repair the friendship. He sent text messages, he called, apologized, asked for forgiveness. He continued trying to reconnect with her for months afterwards, but she was just like, no.
Get it through your head.
Right. So even after everything that happened, there were still signs of emotional attachment between them. Gagandip remained hopeful that they could fix it. He still viewed her as somebody important in his life. And despite feeling angry and hurt, Mundil also seemed conflicted about completely cutting him off.
Well, and she probably is worried about his well-being.
Right. I mean, he's still not...
He doesn't seem very stable.
He's not.
And just the type of person she is, where she wants to like use her life in service and help people. Like, yeah, that's someone that you cared about.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're going to be worried about them.
Right. Around this same time, another important figure was becoming more involved in her life. Harinder Shoker, Ravi.
Ravi, okay.
So remember that Ravi had grown up with Gagandip for years. The two had actually first met at a Sikh temple in Woolwich when Ravi was still a teenager. Gagandip even gave Ravi work through his business connections, and Ravi had also supported him emotionally after his father's death.
Okay.
But over time, Ravi's friendship with Gagandip cooled. Ravi disliked the way Gagandip behaved toward women and had become protective of Mundil after hearing her version of the assault.
Okay.
So Ravi was like, not cool.
Yeah.
Don't like this guy anymore. But at the same time, Ravi himself had developed feelings for Mundil.
Oh, this is complicated.
I know. And multiple people later described him as infatuated with Mundil.
You don't want someone to be infatuated with you.
No.
It sounds nice, but in reality, you don't want that.
In practice, infatuation is terrifying. I mean, she kind of liked him too, the whole bad boy vibe. Like she was still a little bit
Oh, yeah,
into.
he's the bad boy. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So at some point, discussions began about confronting Gagandip. The original idea was supposedly for an older Sikh mentor, the Sunny guy, who Gagandip had confided in, to have a talk with Gagandip about religion, respect, and the way that he treated women.
Okay.
Like, let's just have this guy who's a mentor to these kids, essentially talk to them and say, like, get back on track. Mundil insisted she thought the meeting would involve nothing more than like a serious lecture and I guess maybe a slap on the face or something.
Oh.
Right, which is weird to me. Like, once I talk a little bit more about what happened, you'll kind of see why that's a little weird to say.
Okay.
But things start to slowly escalate from here. On February 25th, 2011, the plan was finally put into motion. Mundil invited Gagandip to her Brighton student house late at night, telling him they could finally talk things through.
I'm already suspicious of this because that's not like her to invite him late at night, just willy-nilly, like of her own volition.
She's hatching this plan with Ravi.
Right.
To bring like Sunny down. And
but why does it have to be late at night?
Right. Well, it sounds like with the slap comment there that they're going to like try to rough him up a little bit.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even before arriving, Gagandip seemed nervous about this. Earlier that day, he sent her a weird message asking whether they could talk simple or if she simply just wanted nothing to do with him again.
Talk simple.
Talk civil. Why did I say simple?
I thought that was like another phrase that I just wasn't familiar with. Can't we just talk simple about this?
Let's just talk simple. I think I just invented something.
I think you did. I like it.
I do too. Catchphrase, talk simple. All right. But he's feeling a little weird about this. He's a little nervous. Their relationship is rocky because of what happened, of course.
Yeah.
But he still goes.
Okay.
His own car had broken down. So that night when he stopped in Brighton, I think he was having car trouble.
Oh, okay.
So he borrowed his sister Amandip's black Mercedes.
Okay.
Before leaving home in Bexley Heath, he hugged his mom and told her he would be home late. On the drive to Brighton, he stopped on the highway to buy flowers and a teddy bear for Mundil.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, Ravi was traveling from London to Brighton by train.
Okay.
With him was Darren Peters.
Who's this guy?
A 19-year-old bike mechanic and petty criminal from Blackheath who had a history involving car theft.
Okay.
Yeah. So Peters was an old school friend of Ravi's. They met at school.
I thought you meant like he was an old school.
Oh, no. Old school friend.
He's so old school.
He's such an old school guy. He's like got black jeans and a looking like grease or some shit. I don't know.
Kevin just literally fell apart before my eyes.
So Mundil's not expecting this younger guy friend, Peters.
Okay, so she's only expecting Ravi and Sunny.
And this other guy shows up. So she's already kind of like, what?
Yeah, like what's going on here?
Instead, Ravi arrives with Peters and introduces him casually as Jason.
And what'd you say his name was?
Darren.
Why the need to change names?
I think it might be to protect identity or something.
Yeah.
Even though this apparently surprised her, she was just like, all right, well, let's continue on with the evening.
Okay.
The group went to Mundil's student house in Brighton. She cooked food for Ravi and Peters while they waited for Gagandip to get there. At some point before he arrived, Peters reportedly put on black fingerless gloves and sheets or bedding were laid out in the basement area.
Ooh.
At around 11 p.m., Gagandip finally arrived carrying the flowers and the teddy bear. And according to Mundil, seeing him standing there acting friendly made her feel strange emotionally because he suddenly reminded her of the person that he had been before he attacked her, essentially.
Yeah.
And then the plan unraveled immediately. Mundil expected Ravi and Peters to wait in another room while she spoke to Gagandip first. But when she walked downstairs into the basement bedroom, the two men were still there. Before she could react, Peters shoved Gagandip against a wall and started attacking him.
What the fuck?
Ravi joined in. Gagandip was beaten with punches, kicks, a camera tripod.
Oh, damn.
Neighbors later reported hearing noise coming from the basement. The attack lasted about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Though Mundil later disputes that timeline and said it was much shorter. Okay, I'm just going to say, I think what happened is they just decided that they were going to bring Gagandip down there and beat the shit out of him.
Okay.
Because of what he had done to Mundil.
Right.
And here's the thing. I'm not 100% whether she was in on it or not.
Okay.
I can't tell. I'll talk later about what happened with all the trial and everything. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if Ravi I don't know if they kind of took her by surprise too. Or she wanted them to, or she was part of the planning. So throughout the beating, Gagandip reportedly screamed for help and called out Mundil's name. She later claimed that she panicked while this was happening and she ran upstairs to her housemates. There's other people home.
Oh, shit.
This is a shared house. And they're beating this guy.
Well,
down
if
in the
neighbors can hear sounds,
hear
then surely her roommates are hearing this.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
They didn't do anything.
What?
She ran upstairs hyperventilating and shaking, and they were trying to calm her down while the attack continued downstairs.
And they didn't go down to stop it?
No.
What? People, what are we doing?
I'm sure they're also probably afraid.
How many of them were there, do you know?
I don't know.
That is wild.
So the beating left Gagandip unconscious, and Ravi and Peters then wrapped him in bedding and carried him out through the basement exit.
What?
Witnesses later reported seeing two men moving a long, heavy object toward the Mercedes outside.
And did anybody call anyone?
The two men shoved him into the boot of the car. His hands were tied using a sat-nav cable. I'm not sure what sat-nav is.
Okay.
Satellite navigation. So using a cable.
Okay.
And then Ravi and Peters drove away from Brighton toward southeast London with Gagandip trapped inside.
You're a neighbor. You hear sounds. Someone screaming. Some roughhousing or something that you can tell is something's going on at the place next door. Then you see two guys come out with a body wrapped in bedding and put it into the trunk of a car. And you're just like, oh, that's weird.
Here's what I kind of think. I think this is student housing area because these are mostly students living in these houses.
Okay.
And I'm sure are used to a lot of noise and stuff. It is strange that people see that they hear this and they see the thing coming out.
I hear you on the noise. Okay, that does make sense if it's like a college area and you're
right because these
kind
are
of used to that.
Yeah, shared student housing. I'm not excusing it by any means,
But I see why people might have just kind of written that off.
Right, write it off. They had probably just were like, oh, whatever. Who knows what's going on? You know, college kids.
I just feel like when you see two men carrying out this thing, that would raise an alarm.
I mean, me too. Don't get me wrong. Same. 100%. What happened next is even more horrifying.
Oh, God.
The Mercedes was driven to Blackheath, specifically near Angerstein Lane by the edge of the Heath, southeast London. They're driving him in the car to Blackheath, and they stop and get petrol, gasoline, and put that into gas cans. They drive onto the Heath. They take that petrol and pour it onto the car and Gagandip while he laid inside the trunk, and they lit it on fire.
What the fuck? And these are young people.
Yeah.
And they're just like, let's murder someone?
Essentially.
Because he was still alive when they put him in the trunk. He was just unconscious.
Well,
or we don't know.
A post-mortem later showed he was still alive when the vehicle was ignited. I don't know if he was conscious.
Right.
But he was still alive when they lit it on fire.
That is unfathomable.
I know. He didn't die from the beating. He died from the toxic fumes and smoke while being trapped inside the Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
Back in Bexley Heath, the Singh family had no idea what was happening. At around 4 a.m., police arrived at the family home after discovering the burning vehicle because it belonged to the sister.
Right.
So they were like, this is your car. At first, officers could not officially identify the body because the burns were so severe. Amandip began desperately calling anyone who knew her brother, trying to figure out where he was.
Oh.
And one of the people she contacted was Ravi.
Oh, shit.
According to her later account, when she asked him if he knew where Gagandip was, Ravi strangely giggled during the phone call.
Ew.
Yeah, and that made her very suspicious.
I can't even imagine. Like, how do you do that to someone and then laugh about it to their sister?
She also called Mundil, who initially denied seeing him, before quickly changing her story and admitting he had come to the house, but supposedly never came in.
Okay.
She's lying.
Of course.
They're all lying.
Yeah.
That inconsistency alarmed Amandip, who later contacted police to tell them that something is off here. Something feels wrong. I'm calling all the people closest to him, and they're being weird. Then eventually the horrifying truth became clear. The body in the burned Mercedes was Gagandip Singh. The police suspected that it might be him, but weren't sure.
Right.
So they went to the family house and they collected DNA from like his comb and from a toothbrush, I think.
Okay.
And they used that to match it to the body and identify him. This family loses it. I mean,
sure.
And also, and I don't think I talked about this, but I'm kind of giving you I just told you essentially what happened to this guy. A lot of people before they discovered who committed this crime thought that it was connected to the father's murder. because it was
Oh.
only like 1 or 2 years after that happened.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh shit, maybe the people in India who took out the dad had a death hit on Gagandip. But that's not the case.
Right.
The trauma shatters the family. Amandip, the sister, later said she developed what therapists described as a blackout response from the shock and could barely remember her brother before his death. And she was also the first family member shown images of his burned remains.
Oh, wow.
Because police worried their mother's heart condition might make identification too dangerous.
Oh.
But the mom eventually does see the images. And Amandip later said her mother nearly collapsed from the shock. And she talks about seeing the pictures in the documentary. It's heartbreaking.
Oh, I can't even fathom this.
And now let's get into the investigation.
Okay.
So the investigation into the killing of Gagandip Singh moved very fast. Once police began piecing together what had happened during the early hours of February 26th, 2011. Meanwhile, police were already building a timeline. CCTV footage from Brighton showed Ravi and Darren Peters arriving at the train station on the night of the killing. Other footage later showed 2 men running from the scene of the burned Mercedes in Blackheath, one wearing a turban, Ravi. Detectives also uncovered petrol station footage showing the petrol being purchased in containers before the fire.
They're so
They're on
dumb.
CCTV.
I mean, I'm glad they're stupid, but damn.
And witnesses near Mundil's student house reported seeing the 2 men carrying the object. Inside the house, police discovered signs of a violent struggle in the basement.
Sure.
Later that same day, after hearing rumors about a body in a burned car and receiving disturbing information from Ravi, Mundil herself contacted police and went to Lewisham Police Station. During her first conversation with officers, she admitted Gagandip had come to her house, but left out major details. She didn't initially mention Ravi or Peters being there, nor did she describe the assault she had witnessed. She later claimed she panicked and was terrified.
Sure, I'm sure you were, but someone was murdered and you know some things.
This just escalated into murder so fast.
So fast.
I don't get it.
It feels premeditated. I don't think it was just like, let's
No,
rough
I
them
don't
up.
either. I think they planned this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Police became really suspicious, of course. On February 26th, 2011, Mundil was arrested on suspicion of murder.
Oh, Mundil was arrested. Okay.
Ravi and Peters were also arrested soon after.
Okay.
So they all get taken in.
Mm-hmm.
During later interviews, Mundil gave a much fuller account and admitted that Ravi and Peters had attacked Gagandip in the basement bedroom before driving away with him. But prosecutors believed her original omissions damaged her credibility badly.
Well, yeah.
They're like, you've been lying about this already. You're not a credible person. So the case eventually moves to the Old Bailey, and a trial begins on December 5th, 2011. The prosecution argued that the attack had been planned as revenge after Mundil accused Gagandip of trying to sexually assault her months earlier in Brighton. Leading the prosecution was barrister Aftab Jafferji, who described the case as a calculated act of revenge and retribution.
It sounds like it.
According to prosecutors, Mundil lured Gagandip to Brighton under the pretense of reconciliation, while Ravi and Peters waited inside the house to ambush him. The Crown argued that Ravi was deeply infatuated with Mundil and eager to eliminate Gagandip from her life. Peters, meanwhile, was portrayed as hired muscle brought in to help carry out the attack.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right.
Sounds about right. During the trial, jurors heard extensive evidence about the relationships between everyone involved. The court learned that Ravi and Gagandip had once been close through the Sikh community and had met years earlier at a temple in Woolwich. They also heard about Gagandip's emotional struggles after the 2009 murder of his father. One of the most important parts of the trial centered around the alleged sexual assault in August 2010. Mundil testified that Gagandip had climbed into her bed and tried to force himself on her while she was staying alone at her student house preparing for that exam. She said she fought him off and threatened to call the police before he broke down apologizing. Jurors also heard about the text message that he sent to Sonny, that he had tried to rape his friend. And that message became a big point in the case because it appeared to support part of Mundil's account. Still, prosecutors argued that whatever had happened months earlier did not justify what followed.
Well, yeah.
They said Mundil knowingly arranged the late-night meeting that placed Gagandip directly into danger.
I don't think she expected them to kill him, but I do think she expected them to rough him up.
I think so too. Yeah. Prosecutors repeatedly described her as a manipulative and accused her of setting up a honey trap. I didn't know what I've never heard honey trap. A honey trap is deception, a deception tactic where people use romantic, sexual, or emotional flattery to put someone in danger.
Yep.
Well, damn. Mundil's defense painted a very different picture. Her lawyer, Michael Birnbaum QC, argued she never intended serious violence and that she had believed the older Sikh man, Sonny, was the one who was going to come down and just have a meeting.
But a meeting at 11 p.m.?
Right. It's weird.
It's
weird.
Not.
Yeah. He told jurors the worst she imagined was a few slaps, which makes me think, yeah, like she expected a few slaps. Like she was expecting the
She
rough
expected some kind of physical altercation.
Multiple witnesses described her as naive and trusting, and former teachers and friends testified that they often believed the best in that she often believed the best in people and didn't think in criminal terms. Ravi's defense also claimed the situation spiraled out of control unexpectedly.
Really?
Ravi himself testified and denied having any plan to kill Gagandip.
So why'd you bring that other guy?
He claimed he thought the plan was only to bring him back to London for a lecture from an older Sikh mentor about respecting women and religion.
So that's just laughable. I can't even.
I know.
He's so full
Bananas.
of shit.
It's bullshit. I think he knows he's going down. So he's like,
Absolutely.
I didn't plan to kill him, because that's the difference between murder 1 and 2, right?
Although I think in London, they call it something else.
Yeah, you're right. At one point, Ravi even described feeling tired and reluctant to continue the plan that night because he had worked all day as an apprentice electrician and hadn't eaten properly due to being diabetic.
Shut the fuck up, Ravi. I don't care about your diabetes, you murderer.
Right. Peters tried distancing himself from the violence too. At points, Ravi and Peters blamed each other for the fire.
Of course.
Ravi claimed Peters bought the petrol and set the car alight, and Peters claimed that he was only supposed to help steal the Mercedes and never intended anyone to die.
Who decided to go to the gas station then?
Another mysterious figure throughout the trial was Sonny. According to several witnesses, Sonny had originally pushed for a confrontation with Gagandip and supposedly wanted to speak with him, to talk about traditions. But Sonny denied knowing anything about the murder plan. And although the jury repeatedly expected him to appear in court, he was never called as a witness by the other side. Which, I mean, it's all already there. I get it. But it's just like this like weird figure, Sonny. It's just like off in this ether of like, we have to call Sonny. And everybody's like, well, where is he?
And Sonny never shows.
He's just mysterious.
He's never anywhere where they say he's going to be.
No. The trial lasted nearly 3 months and was a big media story across Britain. Newspapers labeled it the honey trap murder and focused heavily on the complicated relationships between the young people involved. Mundil, in particular, became the center of intense tabloid coverage.
Exactly.
Some papers portrayed her as a cold mastermind.
See, this is what we were just talking about earlier, where they're going to come down on her because she's female.
Yep. Others focused on the alleged assault she said triggered the chain of events. So some people were like, it's the honey trap murder. She's a cold mastermind. But there were a few papers that were like, well, no, she was assaulted. And then this sort of plan was born out of that. On February 24th, 2012, the jury finally delivered its verdicts. Ravi was convicted of murder. The court found he had gone far beyond any supposed plan to teach Gagandip a lesson and had intentionally participated in the horrific killing. Peters was acquitted of the murder, but
really?
Right, but was convicted of manslaughter.
Huh.
Jurors apparently accepted that he participated in the attack and cover up without necessarily planning the death itself. Remember, he was the henchman, right?
Right.
So I think Ravi planned this.
And was
Peters went along.
Hey, Darren/Jason Peters.
Come help me rough this guy up.
Yeah.
Mundil was acquitted of murder, but convicted of causing grievous bodily harm with intent.
Okay, I could see that too.
Prosecutors conceded during sentencing that she could not have foreseen Gagandip would ultimately be burned alive, but she still had some responsibility to what happened to him.
Also, she didn't call any authorities when they take him, when they're doing this or when they take him out.
No. So Judge Paul Worsley handed down the sentences shortly thereafter. Ravi received life imprisonment with a minimum term of 22 years.
Okay.
Peters was sentenced to 12 years for manslaughter, and Mundil received 6 years in prison. During sentencing, the judge condemned Ravi for intentionally killing Gagandip in horrifying circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
He also criticized Peters for showing no concern about whether Gagandip was alive when the Mercedes was set on fire. The emotional center of the sentencing came from victim impact statements read in court from Gagandip's family. His mother described herself as completely broken by her son's death.
Of course.
She told the court that any one of the defendants could have stepped in and stopped the attack.
Exactly.
Amandip described her brother as somebody who had always emotionally and practically supported her and said she now felt incapable of coping with the grief. Outside court, reactions remained kind of divided, actually.
Really?
Some people believed Mundil's sentence was far too short and launched petitions asking the attorney general to review it. Others believed the alleged assault against her had not been given enough weight. Meanwhile, the Singh family said they felt their lives had been permanently destroyed. So,
yeah, their loved one was taken from them.
After Mundil's conviction and prison sentence, her life changes completely. She served time at HMP Holloway and later HMP Send prisons. While in prison, she kept a low profile and was reportedly considered a model inmate. She took educational courses, worked in the prison gym, and qualified as a personal trainer.
Okay.
During that period, she also became very interested in criminal justice issues and prison reform. She later spoke about noticing how many women in prison struggled with mental health problems and overcrowding. One of the hardest realizations for her was understanding how permanently a violent criminal conviction would affect her future.
Gagandip has no future?
Right. She already knew she would never be allowed to become a doctor, but she later discovered many other careers were also closed off because of her record. She said she felt lost after being released and struggled to figure out what direction her life could still take. But after leaving prison, she returned to university and studied philosophy, politics, and economics at King's College London. Over time, she became involved in charity and advocacy work connected to criminal justice and rehabilitation. She eventually began working for Working Chance, which is a charity that helps women with criminal records find employment and rebuild their lives.
Okay. Well, at least she made something good out of her life.
Yeah. And I don't think she even did the full 6 years because she got out in 2014. So that's
that's only 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. In 2016, she married Varinder Singh Bola, who later became involved in Labour Party politics and briefly won the race to become mayor of Redbridge before stepping down after renewed media attention surrounding Mundil's past. So their marriage drew major tabloid coverage, something she later said made it impossible to ever fully escape public judgment.
Sure.
So more than a decade later, the story is still drawing attention.
Hang on, there's something's clicking, and I don't know if I don't think you're hitting the mic.
No, I'm not touching it.
But something is clicking. Not currently, but in the last 5 minutes that you've been talking,
weird.
There's just been clicks here.
Like a click? Huh. So more than a decade later, the story is still drawing attention, which is why Channel 4 in the UK decided to turn it into a major drama series called Vengeance: Murder on the Heath. It says on IMDb that the release date is May 24th, 2026. So that's coming out soon.
Okay.
The 2-part drama series revisits the case using police interviews, text messages, court records, and dramatized recreations. The project seems especially interested in exploring the emotional and cultural complexity underneath the headlines rather than just retelling the murder itself. The show is written and directed by Aisha Raffaele, who has said she was drawn to the story because of how young everyone involved was.
That's the thing. I mean, they're kids, basically. I mean, I know they're not, but they're, early 20s, all of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Mundil even in her 20s?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they're all so young.
They're all in their early 20s. Yeah.
Jeez.
Wild, right?
Way to ruin so many lives.
That thing's coming out. That's really why the case still fascinates people. Gagandip was both successful, but also struggling with the death of his father. Mundil is portrayed as publicly as both a victim and a villain, depending on who's telling the story. And Ravi was once Gagandip's friend before becoming his killer. And underneath everything sat a group of very young people making catastrophic decisions that they clearly did not fully understand the consequences of at the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You ruined your life. You ruined so many other people's lives.
Yeah.
For what?
For what?
Because you got mad.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And that's the story of the murder of Gagandip Singh.
Oh, what a senseless crime. Senseless.
Yeah.
No point.
No point.
Well, thanks.
Sorry.
Oh, we didn't do a misfit tale topic. You're so deep in thought.
Have you ever been on a boat? And was it cool? Was it fun? Tell me about your boat experiences.
Actually, don't write that in.
No, and I don't want you to email it to Horrorwood. I want you to email it to my personal email address.
This is getting weird. So let's wrap this up. You can leave your comments on this episode on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Spotify at
Horrorwood Podcast.
Or you can send us an email, not about boats, but about pretty much anything else.
Anything.
Unless something crazy happened on that boat.
If something did happen on a boat that you're like, fuck.
I've got
Please
a story.
Email it.
Then
email it.
Send it to
horrorwoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can subscribe and get our bonus episodes on
Patreon, Apple, YouTube.
Boom. Those are the things I know.
Me too.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.